The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the manfromleng. Thank you very much for joining me today. I am back from vacation and ready to stream again. I was off at a Squid Fest. I think it's just a Cthulhu festival in disguise. And everyone got squid hats. I will wear one on the stream here, probably on Wednesday. It is quite a sight to behold. It seems very fitting for a Cthulhu-based stream. So we are going to play... hello, Hassel Nocturna. Welcome to the stream. We just got started here after some minor technical difficulties. You go away on vacation and everything ends up needing to be reauthorized, and you need to sign into everything again and get all your settings done up. So it's taken me a little longer than I'd like to get everything set up this morning, but we are ready to go. First off, I'd like to thank the patrons for their continued support of the channel. These are the people who are bringing you this Arkham Horror LCG content, and I am eternally grateful for their support. I am hoping to hit the $100 mark here, so if you are interested in supporting the channel, head over to patreon.com and sign up. There are several different tiers of support that you can sign up for, and I'd love to have you. So let's see if we can't hit that $100 mark this month. We are, if I can find the right proper window, we are playing Roland and Joe Diamond again. They are going to be taking on the Threads of Fate after our fantastic game that we had, it was almost a month ago now, against the Doom of Esteli. We earned 6 XP during the Doom of Esteli, and so it was pretty easy to make our upgrades this time around. I decided to pick up a copy of Charisma for Roland Banks, and we will save 3 XP for Stick to the Plan. So hopefully if we have a good run through Threads of Fate, we'll be able to pick up Stick to the Plan heading into the Boundary Beyond. We also picked up Joe Diamond. It was also extremely easy to spend our experience. We picked up 1 copy of Higher Education, which shores up his low willpower, and we also have a copy of Charisma as well, hopefully, so we can... hello, Brown Loaf. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. We have Higher Education, of course, and Charisma, so now we can have Beat Cop and Dr. Mylan Christopher in play at the same time. Yeah, setting up this scenario is always a bit of a... always worries me, because I have to make sure that I've got the right act cards in the right order. Hopefully I have done that correctly, and we won't have any trouble today. Here is a summary of the campaign so far. We've got Roland Banks has the medicine, torches, and pendant. Joe Diamond a blanket, binoculars, and chalk. Roland Banks has suffered 1 physical trauma, and Joe has also suffered 1 physical trauma. Of course, that happened after the Untamed Wilds. The investigators cleared a path to the Esteli ruins. Alejandro followed us into the ruins. Taka is wary of us because we had to beat her up in the Untamed Wilds. We did manage to recover... hello, Marco. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. We did recover the Relic of Ages and in that game. And we decided to give custody of the relic to Alejandro. He seems like a trustworthy guy, and he knows far more about relics than we do, so he can handle it. We have earned Alejandro's trust. We will see if we can keep it. Taka showed up at our door, and we weren't all that impressed by her because we did beat her up in the jungle, so she left without us. And the Harbinger of Valusia is still alive, of course. We did sort of retcon the end there and dish out 2 damage by discarding our beat cops right at the end when the investigators resigned. And we have 5 Yig's Fury. I believe that's correct. I can't remember in the last game. I noticed that the stream cut off at the end before I did the whole summary of what had happened in the game. So I believe there are 5 Yig's Fury. It might be 6, but I have to go back and watch the game again to see where we ended up in the end there. We are set up and ready to go here in Octagon. This is one of those scenarios that requires a little more setup than the rest. I remembered that actually Roland is also poisoned. Not that it will matter for this particular scenario, but we should get that out there just in case. We are back in Arkham. We have the Curiosity Shop, Northside, Downtown, East Town, Velma's Diner, Miskatonic University, and Rivertown. And we have 3 different act decks to worry about this time around. We will be, and we get to choose which ones we go for. We've got Act 1A, which involves the relic that we discovered at the ruins of Esteli. So we will need 2 clues per investigator to advance that, and we can only do that if we are at Miskatonic University. So we can probably advance that right away if we do grab these 2 clues at Rivertown. We also decided to go to the police about Alejandro's disappearance. So we will need to go to East Town and spend 2 clues per investigator. 2 clues in order to advance that act. And finally, the act involving Taka, the trial of the Huntress. Only investigators in Rivertown can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance, and we will need 4 clues, which is going to be... we will advance. Yeah, there's Chris. The Octagon's not too bad once you get the hang of it, but there is setting it up can be an issue. I'm hoping to produce a guide on how to play with Octagon here. Maybe I can get that done in August, and so other people can learn how to play with it. It's my preferred program just because it's the one I've been using for forever. I know that some people play with Tabletop Simulator, but I just like the layout of Octagon better. So hopefully, if I can find the time this month, I will sit down and put together a little video about how to play with Octagon. It's not too bad solo, but then if you switch to two-handed, there are some little tricks you need to use to get it to work properly. I think we're ready to draw our opening hand here, if I haven't screwed everything up. So let's see how we do. We get a Roland draws a Guts, a Fieldwork, an Art Student, Logical Reasoning, and a Vicious Blow. So we don't have a weapon here. Do I keep the Fieldwork? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, maybe. That's good for clues. I don't think we need the Logical Reasoning or the Vicious Blow. We do need a weapon, however. So we mulligan into a Eureka, an Emergency Cache, and another Emergency Cache. So lots of resources, but no weapons or to speak of. That is going to be somewhat annoying because this scenario does have those cultists in it who can be a real pain if they get too powerful. So we do have a Fieldwork and an Art Student to start us off, and we do have Eureka, so we may be committing that to a skill test early so we can grab, hopefully, some sort of weapon. Joe Diamond, he will start... Oh, we need to make these cards visible. All right, he has an Evidence. There is a Machete. There is his weakness, Haunted. Hi, Ben. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Another evidence and a magnifying glass. Well, we can get rid of the evidence and the haunted. So we get to draw first for the haunted. It's a take the initiative. I'm going to mulligan that too. So we get his Detective Colt 911s. The Death 13 card, that's going to start in play, and a Vicious Blow. So we have a Machete and a Vicious Blow for Joe. And his intellect is going to start at 5 this game. So that's that's pretty nice. Of course, that will somewhat... we do need to get 5 cards in our hand to deal with the higher education. But we can do that as the game progresses. We do have a magnifying glass and a machete we'd like to get down. And then we can start to grow our hand. I think we're ready to go here. So let's, who do we want to go first? We have 2 clues here. That's easy enough to grab. We could then run over to Miskatonic University and trigger that, that act. And then if we can grab all the clues at Miskatonic University, that will set us up for the next act, which we could return to Rivertown and deal with Taka's plot, or we could head... I sort of want to recover Alejandro, so I think I might head to Easttown next. So let's... we could play the art student and the field work, and that would get us... let's do that. Let's play the art student first. Probably going to need some more space here. We've got too many assets to deal with, so let's move this over a little bit. So we'll grab a clue at the Rivertown, and then we will play our field work so we can get that down as well. That will get us, of course, field work being that asset from, I believe is it Path to Carcosa? After you move to a location, if that location has a clue on it, you can exhaust field work to get +2 skill value for your next skill test. So that's awfully nice to help Roland with his lowly, not fantastic intellect. He's pretty average in that regard. We can investigate here. I think we will just go straight up as our third action. And so we are going 3 versus 1. The Chaos Bag is going to give us a +1. So a nice start from the Chaos Bag. And we shall grab this clue. And that will be the end of Roland's turn. Joe Diamond, he has... let's see, we've got a magnifying glass we can play for free and the machete, so let's do that. Magnifying glass will come down. That boosts our intellect even higher. The machete we can play for our first action. So now we've got a weapon out. Feel a lot better about that. So that'll be our first action. We might as well move. Now, do we have to be at the... Only investigators in the Miskatonic University can spend clues. So we need Roland and Joe to be there together. So Roland, or Joe, sorry, will move to Miskatonic University. It's a 4-shroud location with 4 clues. And we can search the top 6 cards of our deck for a tome or spell and add it to our hand. We won't be doing that this game because... neither of these guys has any tomes or spells to worry about. And I guess we will just go and investigate. We will draw... So we are a 4, 5, 6 versus 4. Like those odds. We get a -5 right off the bat. So we've got... The Chaos Bag is a bag of extremes at the moment. We've got... we drew a +1 and then a -5. So... hopefully that will not... we won't see that -5 again for the rest of the the rest of the game. Fingers crossed. So that was the investigation phase. No enemies to worry about. We draw cards. Roland gets a Pathfinder. That's nice to see. And Joe gets a Dr. Mylan Christopher. I did forget to draw Joe's hunch card, of course. Let's do that now. It was a Preposterous Sketches, so that we didn't play that, so we'll just shuffle that back in our deck. I knew I was going to forget Joe's hunch deck at some point. Hi, Alexander. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. We are just starting off with just at the very beginning of the Threads of Fate. We are about to draw our first Mythos cards of the game. So we add a Doom. Roland is the first player, so his encounter card will be... Oh, there's a Night Gaunt. So we draw a Night Gaunt right off the bat. And he is by himself, so we will have to figure out how to... maybe Joe will have to come back and deal with that Night Gaunt. Joe's card is going to be the Wizard of the Order. Alright, so 2 enemies right off the bat. He will spawn at any empty location. We might as well put him at Northside because... or maybe... maybe we go East Town because that's where we were planning to go. Problem is Joe has the machete, so he's going to have to come back and deal with that Night Gaunt for Roland. So that would be 1. Then he could just attack it twice, and hopefully we don't miss the Night Gaunt to kill it. Then Roland could head over to Miskatonic University and grab those clues, or we simply ignore Miskatonic University for the time being and head up to East Town. Probably have to do that. So we could either place the wizard at East Town or Northside. Sort of want to go Miskatonic University, then Northside. Well, we may have to let that Miskatonic University plan go for the time being. So the wizard, of course, at the end of the Mythos phase, we have to add a Doom to him. So we've got 2 of 6. We're going to have to deal with that guy pretty quickly. I think that we will get our 3 actions, and then Joe will go first. Let's shuffle up his hunch deck and see what we get. Let's see. Are we having any issues? Yeah, I'm having some dropped frames on my side. I'm not sure why. I'm hardwired here, so it shouldn't be... Yeah, okay, so I'm getting some dropped frames on my end. That's why it's cutting out. So we may have to reduce the stream for the next time. Or I may just have to... I think I know what the issue might be, so we'll deal with that. We'll have to deal with that next time. My apologies, that's really annoying. We will deal with that next time. All right, we will, I guess we will have Joe move. And he will attack the Night Gaunt. We are going to go 4. Oh, we can't deal. We'll have to deal... we will have to engage it to... if we want the +1 damage. We can't kill it this round. That's kind of annoying. I guess we will engage it. Hi, Kurt. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're having some issues. Actually, just give me a sec here. I'm gonna see if I can't fix it. All right. Let's see if that won't improve things. Yeah, we're really struggling here. I'm not sure why. We should have plenty of speed. That's for sure. All right. Where were we? Oh, we engaged the Night Gaunt. So we will now attack the Night Gaunt. So we are going 5 versus 3. The Chaos Bag says Elder Sign. So we move an insight. That's +1, and we may move an insight event from our discard pile to the bottom of our hunch deck. We don't have anything to do with that, so we will deal 2 damage to the Night Gaunt. All right, now we could have. Yeah, that's right. It seems like I've been sucked into the spectral realm. I should have plenty of speed. I'm just not sure why we're getting so many drop frames in this particular stream. I will work on it and see what we can do for next time. All right, so Roland is going to attack. Now, he could attack the Night Gaunt twice and kill it. We don't have a weapon, so we'd be going 4 versus 3. Or we engage it and then attack it twice. Yeah, let's engage the Night Gaunt. And then we'll attack it twice. We're going to go 4 versus 3. Chaos Bag says tablet, that's a -2. And if we do not succeed by at least 1, we place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Oh, that's bad news. And then we will attack it again. Chaos Bag gives us a +1, so we deal another damage to the Night Gaunt. So Roland is going to take some damage here during the enemy phase. We're going to take 1 and 1. So we'll do that now. We go to the upkeep phase. So we draw. Roland draws a logical reasoning, and Joe draws an unexpected courage. So we are got some skills there, and we will be ready for the next turn. So this goes back into Joe's hunch deck. And we are ready to go to our next turn. So we've got 4 of 6 doom. This is bad news. We really do need to deal with this Wizard of the Order, because he is going to add another doom as well. So Roland's card is going to be the Hunting Shadow. You must either spend 1 clue or take 2 damage. We'll take the 2 damage. And Joe's is going to be an Acolyte. Oh dear, things are just getting going from bad to worse here. He needs to go on an empty location, so we will put him at downtown, and he will gain a doom as well. So we are advancing next turn due to some unfortunate circumstances. Some very unfortunate circumstances. We will have to see what we can do about this. So Roland and Joe will gain their 3 actions, and we will move on to the investigation phase. So I think Joe will attack the Night Gaunt. Does Roland have anything to help him? Yes, he does. He's got the... he's got the Unexpected Courage. So we will commit that. So Roland, will go 4, 5, 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag gives us an Elder Sign. So we get +1 for each clue. There are no clues, but that's fine. So the Night Gaunt will die. Now, we need... How do we do this? I think Roland is going to play his Pathfinder. And then we are going to... I don't want to move him up to Easttown yet because we need to... I want Joe to deal with that Wizard of the Order. So I think we'll play an emergency cache as well. And that will get us back to... whoops, that's a damage. Whoops, those are clues. Alright. Okay, now it's Joe's turn. Joe will draw from his hunch deck, which is going to be a working a hunch. So we will get we can play that for, I believe it's for free? Yes, for free to discover a clue at our location. So he is going to move up to Easttown and engage the Wizard of the Order. We will flip Easttown over. Easttown is a 2-shroud location with 2 clues on it. Hi, Lucas. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Glad to hear it's not the stream is not unwatchable. It seemed to start off fine, and then all of a sudden I've been dropping frames ever since, and I don't quite know why that is. There should be I shouldn't be having this many problems. It's really annoying because I did upgrade my internet to deal with this specific problem. So we have Joe Diamond. He is going to attack. Whoops. We are going to attack the Wizard of the Order. Joe has a 4-5 versus 4. I think we'll commit the Colt to go +2 on that. So we will go 5, 6, 7 versus 4. Chaos Bag says a skull. That's a -X, which is the highest amount of doom on an enemy. That is going to be -2. So we do kill the Wizard of the Order. That is a relief. Now we can play the Working a Hunch for free. So we might as well do that and gain a clue. And then we can try to gain this other clue. We can go 5 versus 2. Chaos Bag will give us a -2, so that is a success, and we will grab another clue. So we have cleared the Easttown location. Now that puts us in... We can actually clear that with Joe alone. So do we want to do that? I think we will. Let's spend the 2 clues. So we will advance this act, and we get the police station. So we put the Arkham Police Station into play. And the Arkham Police Station has 4 clues on it. It's a 3-shroud location. It's connected to East Town. We can search the top 6 cards of our deck for a weapon card and add it to our hand. Well, that's going to be, I think Roland will be certainly doing that as soon as he can. And then I think if we clear that, we do get to go on to the next... Now, let me take a look at these. So we go to Act 2C. So that enters play. So at the station, only investigators in the Arkham Police Station can spend the requisite number of clues. So we need 4 clues. So with Joe's 2 clues, or sorry, Roland's 2 clues, we can get there. We could clear it next turn. Of course, it is what the police station is worth a victory point, so we do want to clear that if at all possible. That will be our turn. There is only the 1 enemy in play. We will have to go deal with him at some point. So we can get rid of that doom. Roland draws his 38 special, and unfortunately Joe Diamond draws his weakness, Haunted. So his skills are each -1, and he will have to take 2 actions in order to get rid of that. So maybe what we could do is... I don't know, I think Roland can probably kill the... Roland could probably kill the Acolyte using his fieldwork bonus, because he'd be at 6. 6 versus 3. I like those odds. So he could go there, kill the Acolyte at downtown, grab a clue there, and Joe could get rid of his signature or his weakness and then head over to Arkham Police Station and start clearing that location. So we'll risk splitting the party depending on what happens here during the Mythos phase. So we are at 4 of 6. Clearing out that Wizard of the Order really helped us. Roland's card is going to be a locked door. That's going to suck. That's going to go on the police station, and we're going to have to break that down. All right, so that's going to be quite annoying. Joe's going to be the one who's going to have to do it, and we've only got a vicious blow. He could use his fists to break it down. Not great. Not a great option, but we may have to do it. Let's see what Joe gets. Joe gets Conspiracy of Blood. We attach it to the current agenda. Attached agenda gets a -1 doom threshold, so it is going to advance next turn. Each cultist enemy gains Parlay. Test 4 willpower. If you succeed, discard 1 copy of Conspiracy of Blood from play. If you fail, place 1 doom on an enemy. So we could kill this guy and we won't advance. We can kill the Acolyte and we won't advance next turn. But we will have to do that quickly. So we go to the Investigate phase. So I think what we'll do, I think Roland will go first. He will move to East Town. He will move to downtown, where he will engage the Acolyte. When we move to downtown, I believe we will have an opportunity to trigger our field work. Actually, we've got a Pathfinder, so I do get that action back before I forget. So we do save ourselves an action with Pathfinder there. We can trigger our field work So we'll get +2 skill value. So we'll be at 6 versus 3 for this attack. So we will get a Chaos Bag, gives us a tablet. That's going to be a -2. So we do succeed. So this guy dies. And we will trigger Roland's response to grab a clue. Now we have one more action available to us. It's a 3 shroud location. So we could go... We'd be 3 versus 3, although we could commit our Eureka at this point. And that would give us... what would that give us? 4 versus 3. And if we succeed, we get a card. Not great odds. Or we could play our weapon. That would be our other choice. I think we'll play the weapon. We'll play Roland's signature asset, his 38 special, for 3 resources. And that will give us... so what we could do, it's a bit wasteful, but we could move Roland back to Easttown and then move him in again with field work to get excuse me, to give us a +2 again. So we wouldn't be really losing that many actions. All right. So we are going to... That was Roland's turn. Now Joe's turn. Joe's going to get rid of his weakness for 2 actions. Then he's going to move into the police station. And that'll be his turn. So we go to the upkeep phase. Just as we were, just as I played the 38 special, Roland draws his machete, and we get another copy of Death 13 for Joe. So that's not going to be helpful. Gain our actions back, and we will go to the next turn. I believe we are advancing. 3. No, we are not advancing. We have one more turn. So we are at 4 of 5 because of Conspiracy of Blood. Roland's card this turn is going to be another Acolyte. Where do we want to put him? He is going to go... we'll put him in Easttown, I guess, because we're going to take care of him. And he will gain a doom. And Roland's card is going to be False Lead. If you have no clues, False Lead gains Surge. We have no clues. So that is simply going to surge. Into another locked door. So that is going to go on downtown. Or no. Oh, I forgot that I could have put that first locked door on Miskatonic University. Doesn't matter now. We did draw the second locked door, so it will go on Miskatonic University instead. I could have put it on, put that first locked door there, but now that we've got 2, we're pretty much stuck. So that will be the Mythos phase. Turn 5, we are going to use our Pathfinder to move here. We'll move Roland to Easttown. Roland will engage the Acolyte. He is going to shoot the Acolyte with his 38 special. So he will... he is going to... I moved my chat box right over my thing here. So he is going to get +1. If there's one or more clues, we get +3. So we get another +1. So he is at 4, 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says +1. So there's another +1. So this Acolyte dies. We're going to move back here to downtown, and we will trigger our field work at that point to give us another +2. So we're going to be 5 versus 3. We're going to use our Eureka at this point to go 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says Skull. That's going to be a -0. So we do succeed, and we do get to search the top 3 cards of our deck for a card. So our choices are Prepared for the Worst. Alejandro Vela is not in our deck. So we will look at the top 3. We were supposed to take him out before we started the game. So Prepared for the Worst, Cover Up, and a Shortcut. We will take the shortcut. Glad to shuffle Cover Up away. And so we did grab this clue. So we've got 4 clues. Now we can move back and... Hi, Kenyon. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Yeah, we've only got 1 magnifying glass in play right at the moment. There should be more, but we haven't drawn them yet. Now, Joe Diamond has needs to deal with this locked door. How is he going to do that? He has a 4. We can go 4 versus 4 to break down the door. That's really our only... And then we could grab these clues, and hopefully we will be in good shape. So let's try to break down the door. 4 versus 4. I don't want to use my Vicious Blow on this. That would be a bit of a waste. Chaos Bag gives us a -2. 4 versus 4. We get a +1. So there goes the door. All right. So we only used 2 actions on that. That's awfully nice. Now we can use... Oh, we need to draw a hunch card. It is another Working the Hunch, so we can play that for free to gain a clue. And then we can investigate. We can go 5. We're just going 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says another Elder Sign. Wow. Lots of Elder Signs this game. And we may move an Insight event from our discard pile to the bottom of our hunch deck. So this is on the bottom of our hunch deck. This Working a Hunch. And so we will gain another clue. So we've got the clues we need to advance at the station. We just need to get Joe Diamond there. Rivertown and Miskatonic. So maybe Roland heads down to Miskatonic and starts that one off. Joe could probably grab these 2 clues here easily enough, and then we can finish off this one. We shall see. No enemies to worry about, so we go to the upkeep phase. Joe draws an Evidence, and Roland draws his 2nd copy of Pathfinder. All right. Just want to see how we're doing here. Yeah, we're having issues. Okay, so that's the upkeep phase. We are going to advance this turn. So there's nothing we can do about that. This will go away. And this will flip. So we are on Agenda 1B at the Sun's Peak. We shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. If there are only 2 acts in play, we place 1 Doom on Agenda 2A as it is revealed. So there are still 3 in play, so we don't have to worry about that. But we get all those enemies back, which I'm not thrilled about. So we go to Agenda 2A. Behind the curtain, we have the option of resigning. We don't want to take too long, so we head for safety with the information we have. So it is a 6. It is a Doom threshold of 6. Okay. Okay, so we need to draw some encounter cards. Roland gets another Night Gaunt. Okay. And Joe gets a Night Gaunt. Wow, look at that. Double Night Gaunts. So these are... that's annoying, but we do have weapons to deal with them, so I'm not too concerned. So Joe can shoot it. It'd be better if he was at a location with a clue. We could take an attack of opportunity to move. Or we can play our shortcut. What we could do, play our shortcut to move to Northside. So let's do that. We'll play our shortcut to move to Northside, which is better in terms because there will be a clue there. In fact, there are 4, and we can spend 5 resources to gain 2 clues. Now we can shoot at the Night Gaunt, and we will get that +3. So we're at 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. Chaos Bag says 0, so he will take 2 damage. And we will do it again. 7 versus 3, Chaos Bag gives us a -1. So we kill the Night Gaunt, and we will trigger Roland's response to gain another clue. So we grab a clue at Northside. Now, we've got 2 actions remaining if we use our Pathfinder. We could grab another clue at Northside, and then... we need to take a damage in a horror. Oh no, we use shortcut, right. Okay, so if we grab a clue, we want to clear out this location because it is worth victory points, and then we can we could head down to Miskatonic University. So let's do that. We will go... What are we going at? 3. Just 3. 3 versus 3. That's not great. Need more enemies. That's what we need. So we can kill these suckers. 3 versus 3... Or do we just play our machete and not... Yeah, I think we play the machete. That way we've got plenty of firepower. And if we draw another enemy this turn, there are lots of enemies. We can attack and kill it. Probably a cultist, though, which means we won't be able to place it there. But we could place it at Miskatonic University, move in there, and grab a clue through the locked door. Joe Diamond... he will draw his hunch deck. He gets a logical reasoning, so that's not going to be all that useful right now. He is going to try to kill the Night Gaunt. He is at 5 versus 3. So first action, Chaos Bag says -2, so that'll be 2 damage. Second action, that'll be a -1. So we easily dispatch the 2 enemies that we drew last turn. And we've got 1 action remaining that... so Joe can grab another clue here. He's a 4... He's a 5 versus 3. Oh, we did kill an enemy, and we do have an evidence. So let's play that now. So we will discover 1 clue using the evidence. Yep. And then we can go 5 versus 3 and hopefully grab this other clue. There's a skull. That is a -0 at the moment. So we will grab this clue as well. And we are set to advance, I believe. Only investigators at Arkham Police Station can spend the requisite number of clues. So let's do that now. Or we could do it during the... actually, I'm going to do it during the player window during the enemy phase, just in case we end up with some sort of enemy that we can't deal with. So we'll go to the enemy phase, and then we will spend these clues during that player window to flip this at the station over. So search the encounter deck discard pile and victory display for a hunting night gaunt and spawn it in a location farthest from all investigators. Heal all damage from each hunting night gaunt in play. Attach the set aside Alejandro Velma to the hunting night gaunt farthest from all investigators. So, farthest from all investigators. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So we could go East Town or Rivertown to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, probably Rivertown is where the hunting night gaunt shows up. So he will go here. And we need to attach Alejandro to him. Yeah, John. Joe is a very good investigator. I know he's considered to be one of the most powerful investigators in the game at the moment. He is super good. I should have Alejandro's art. Yeah, I do. So we will create an Alejandro card, because for some reason this one doesn't have the art on it. So we will get rid of that. Attach Alejandro to him. So now I guess we need to go kill that... whoops. That one flipped by accident. So now we go to... That's the second one. So which one do we advance to? That's the question. Let's see here. Now where did it go? Is this the one? Alejandro's plight. Right, okay. So we go to Alejandro's plight. There we are. So Alejandro's plight, while Alejandro Velma is attached to an enemy, that enemy gets +2 health per investigator. If the enemy leaves play, we advance. So this night gaunt has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 health. I'm going to add the health to him now, just so we can remember how much we've got to deal. Lots of damage to this guy. It is a hunter though, so it's gonna come to us. So that's not too bad. So that was the enemy that was the player window in the enemy phase. So this guy isn't going to move. We will go to upkeep. Roland draws the overpower, and Joe draws a beat cop. These will get shuffled back into Joe's hunch deck. And that will be our turn. So now we need to go kill this night gaunt. We could probably get a pretty good start on it this turn. We'll need to take a little bit of damage, but then we could finish it off next turn pretty easily. And that would put us at Rivertown, which would be Taka's. We do have enough clues to advance Taka's thing, her plot. So I guess we will go to the Mythos phase. So we are at 1 of 6. Roland's card is going to be Shadowed. Shadowed is a scheme. If there are no cultist enemies in play, we take 1 horror and Shadowed gains surge. Okay, so there are no cultist enemies in play, so we take a horror and it gains surge. His second card is a hunting shadow. We can spend a clue or take 2 damage. We've got an extra clue, so we can pay for that, so we don't take the damage. Joe's card is going to be an acolyte. All right, where do we want to put this acolyte? I think we put the acolyte at Easttown because we can deal with him on the way through. To deal with the Night Gaunt. Okay, so far so good. We will advance to the investigation phase. Now we need to kill this Night Gaunt. That will put us in Rivertown where we can advance Taka's plot. And then we can... Roland can take some damage because of the art student. We've also got the fieldwork and a pathfinder that will help us out here. I think we will go... What do we want to do here? We move Joe. We move him to Easttown. He kills the acolyte, and then we move him to the to Rivertown. So I think we want to go with Joe first. So we will go with Joe first and see what we can do here. So we will use our Pathfinder to move to Miskatonic University. We will use a movement to go to Rivertown. So we engage the Night Gaunt. We will exhaust our field work to give us... actually, no, there needs to be a clue there, doesn't there? Yeah. Yeah, fieldwork always seems good in theory, and then you start to run out of clues, and it doesn't do a whole lot. So, however, we do have our machete. We are 4-5 versus 3. We do have an overpower as well, but I'm not too concerned about that. So we can do 4 damage to this Night Gaunt if we... with some luck here. So we will go 5 versus 3. Actually, we will use our shot from our gun just to make sure we only get +1. So we will do... we are at 4, 5, 6, or just 5. Yeah, just 5. Okay, 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says -2, so we do hit. So it takes 2 damage. Then we will chop it with our machete for our second attack, and that will be 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says the elder thing. And that's a -2, and if you fail, you lose one of your clues. But we didn't fail, so we take another 2 damage off that. So it's down to 4. We can easily take it out next turn. So now we go with Joe. Joe will move back to Easttown. He will engage the Acolyte. We will attack the Acolyte as our second action. Going 5 versus 3. Do we have anything we want to commit? No. Chaos Bag says tablet. That's a -2, so it will die. And then Joe will move to Rivertown. So we've got both the boys back at Rivertown. Both of them can deal with this very annoying Night Gaunt next turn. We will go to the enemy phase, and Joe is going to, or Roland, sorry, I'm getting them confused a lot today for some reason. We'll take an attack. We will take 1 on the art student will take the horror for us, and we will take the damage, so we can deal with it next turn. And we go. So we get a vicious blow. That's nice. Not quite enough to kill it in one hit, unfortunately. And Joe gets a Eureka. So we go to the Mythos phase. We've got 2 of 6. 2 of 6. Roland's card is going to be on Wings of Darkness. Okay, so we're going to test... we are going to test 4 agility, and if we fail, we take a damage and a horror. Then we disengage from each non-night gun enemy and move to a central location. Well, we are in a central location. So this is just going to... if we fail this skill test, we're just simply going to kill our... I believe we'll just kill the art student. So let's see how we do. We get a -1, so we do fail, and the art student takes 1 for the team. So no great loss there. Probably the best place we could be for that. And Joe, he gets a shadowed. If there are no cultist enemies in play, we take a horror and it gains surge. We have done a very good job of keeping the cultist enemies down this game. So he will get a hunting shadow, so that will be 2 damage for him. Not too bad there. So a fairly straightforward Mythos phase. Okay, so now we can kill this Night Gaunt. Joe could kill it in... well, we could kill it in 1 shot if everybody throws their vicious blows to this. That might be worthwhile. We have... both players have a vicious blow, so I think we'll do that. We will throw... Roland will commit his, and Joe will commit his. So we are at... we are at 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. Wish I was 8 versus 3. 8 yeah, we'll commit the overpower too. If we're going all in on this, we might as well. That will help us trump the chaos bag. So it's really only the -5 that can do us in here, or the tentacle. And we do not draw the tentacle. We draw a -1. So... in 1 action, we finish off the Hunting Night Gaunt. And we free Alejandro. So, while Alejandro Vela is attached, we did that. If the enemy leaves play, we advance. All right. If Alejandro is attached to the Hunting Night Gaunt, he collapses to the ground along with the winged creature's body, rises to her feet. The Alejandro nearest to the Hunting Night Gaunt takes control of Alejandro Vela. We remove the remainder of the CD deck from the game, and we can advance. Or we could, if it's the only act card, we go to R1, but it's not. So we have 2 acts in play now, and we'll just give Alejandro Vela to Joe, or sorry, to Roland. Not that he's going to matter much this game. Hi Gabort1, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Yeah, this is a fun scenario to play. Lots of different options, lots of different ways that you can approach this scenario. So we are set up here. We can actually advance. Only investigators can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. So we can advance. Joe can spend 4 clues to advance Taka's plot. And we end up at the Black Cave. Black Cave, I assume it's attached to Rivertown. Put it at the end of your turn. Yes, it is attached to Rivertown. At the end of your turn, if you are in the Black Cave, you must either take 1 horror or choose and discard 2 cards from your hand. Okay. It's got 4 clues. That shouldn't be a big deal for our friends here. We do have a lot of clue gathering between Joe and Roland. So now we have to advance to the other one. I think that goes away, and we will look at all these cards here. So we advance to Cave of Darkness. So only investigators in the Black Cave can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. There must be no clues remaining on Black Cave in order to advance this act. So we need 4 clues, and we need no clues on Black Cave. So that's pretty straightforward. Is it an ancient location? No, it is not an ancient location. So we don't get any bonuses from Alejandro. However, we can actually use our field work here. So we will Pathfinder in with Roland. Then we will trigger our field work. So we are at 3, 4, 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag will give us a 0. So we do grab a clue. That was our second action. Now we can try for another clue. So we are going for 3 versus 3. Is that correct? Yeah, not great. Not great. We need enemies is what we need. 3 versus 3. We will gain a tablet. If you do not succeed by at least 1, place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. That is fine. So we will simply fail that, and no repercussions because we've done such a good job of keeping the enemies, the cultists at bay. All right, it is Joe's turn. He will move to the cave. We need to draw his... So we get no stone unturned. That's not going to be overly helpful this turn. From his hunch deck, we are going to... We can't gain all the clues this turn. I wish we could. So we're going to go 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says Skull. That's a -0 at the moment. So we get a clue, and then we will go 6 versus 3 again. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we easily grab that clue. Love investigators with high intellect. It makes the game so much easier. That will be our turn. Nothing in the enemy phase. We get a magnifying glass for Joe, so that will... well, we can't have 2 magnifying glasses, unfortunately, for Joe. And, oh, interesting. We get calling in favors for Roland. So we could return Alejandro to our hand and then bounce somebody in for cheaper. So that might be worth playing. We'll have to see what happens. I think we can advance this act next turn. We can advance what's her name's plot. It's Taka. We've got 3 of 6 doom in play. Roland's card is going to be an acolyte. So he will go at Rivertown, and he gains a doom. And Joe's card is going to be a locked door. So this locked door is going to go on Northside. Fortunately, it is not going on the cave. So that is good news. All right, so we have another relatively easy Mythos phase. Yeah, this is a nice scenario with the acolytes are easy enough to kill. We haven't run into some of the really nasty cultists yet, thankfully. All right, how are we doing there? Yeah, we're having trouble. Interesting. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to advance this act. And we need everybody here to do it. So it makes sense for Joe to go first, because then Roland can move up here and whack this acolyte easily enough. So Joe is going to go 6 versus 3. Actually, we need, first of all, we need to do the hunch deck, because I am... Oh, it does deal out horror. Good catch. So we have to take 2 horror. Need to find a good spot for this. Okay, so Black Cave deals out... We must either take a horror or choose and discard 2 cards. How do I feel about that? Roland... I think Roland can just discard cards. We'll discard the Pathfinder and the... or do we want to keep the Pathfinder and discard the Calling in Favors? No, I think we'll discard the Pathfinder this time. And Joe... He can discard the Death card. It's not going to help him. And the Magnifying Glass, since we're not going to play that either. So, easy. Thanks. That's the good catch on the stream's part there. I hate these, hate the locations, because I always forget them to trigger them. But you guys had my back this time, so good stuff. We need to draw a hunch. It's going to be a logical reasoning. So we can play that. We could play that to help. We could deal with Roland's horror. That might be useful. So let's see. We need everybody out of this location this turn. So we're going to go 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. Joe is going to investigate. Skull, that's a -1 because we have 1 doom. So we do grab this clue. So we do have enough clues to advance this act. So we will spend them. And we advance Act 2E. So we shuffle the encounter discard pile and into the encounter deck. Discard cards from the top until we get a cultist enemy. 2 cultist enemies instead if there are 2 or fewer act decks remaining. I believe it's only 1 cultist because we have 2 act decks remaining. Spawn those enemies in the Black Cave instead of their normal spawn location. Until the end of the scenario, remember that those enemies are Taka's prey. Okay, so we shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Let's make sure we do this right. First off, then we discard cards until we get a cultist enemy. 2 cultists if there are 2 or fewer. So we need 2. We need 2 cultists. Okay. Hunting Shadow on Wings of Darkness. There is a Brotherhood Cultist. And there is an Acolyte. So these 2 chumps show up in the cave. And we spawn the enemies in the Black Cave until the end of the scenario. Remember, those enemies are Taka's prey, and we advance to Brotherhood Revealed. Okay. So, these guys, I guess +1 hunt and +1 evade for each doom on it. Who do we want to deal with the Brotherhood Cultist? Now, this guy is a pain in the ass. Yeah, yeah, Lucas. I've haven't played a lot of the Circle Undone scenarios yet, but I know that there can be some a lot of combos that trigger off of one haunted ability in the Circle Undone. So I'm not looking forward to playing that. Maybe I should just play those on stream because it will be that much easier to deal with. So what we could do here is, so this guy, we could spawn him with, he can spawn with Joe, and this guy could spawn with Roland. Yeah, we add Doom when we attack him. So what we could do now, Joe still has 2 actions, so we can kill this cultist here easily enough. And then maybe take a swipe at this one so Joe can finish him off, or Roland can finish him off. We're going to have to take a horror, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, Ben, Brotherhood Cultist is awful. I hate it. He's like one of the worst enemies in the entire game, I think. I've had these guys they become unkillable so quickly that if you get a couple of bad draws, they can quickly become unkillable and unevadable. Let's see, what do we do? Let's kill this cultist first. So we are going to go for 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says, do we have anything? No. 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag gives us a skull, so that's going to be a -1. So this cultist will die easily enough. Now, we need... If we hit this guy... Problem is, as soon as we hit him once, he's gonna get bigger. He's gonna get bigger, and then we're gonna have issues. We need to actually bring out our other to see now. What did I do with that? So I deleted my thing, so now I don't know what too many act decks to deal with here. So we've dealt with that one. Okay, so we screwed up here. So this comes out. We need to back up here. Getting carried away. So this guy comes back into play. He has a Doom. Ichtaka's Prey. So we remembered that each of these are Ichtaka's Prey. So Ichtaka's Prey each gets +1 fight, +1 health, and per investigator, and +1 evade while at a location with no clues on it. Okay, so this guy actually had 2 health. 3 health, sorry. So he took 2. So now we need to hit him one more time, and he's a 4. So we drew a skull last time, so we were 5 versus 4, and we were okay. So now we need to do that again. Now this guy is going to be a total pain in the butt. He is +2 health. So he has 5 health, And +1 fight and +1 evade. Okay, so we're going to have to try to kill, but every time we attack this guy, it's going to be rough. We may need to drag this guy somewhere. We may need to drag him somewhere. If we could drag him to Miskatonic University, suddenly he becomes much easier to kill. So we may need to do that. Because then he... Yeah, then he's much easier to kill. Okay, so we're going to have to do that. We can kill this guy, but then this guy we need to sort of... We need to drag him to Miskatonic University so we don't have to deal with his painful ability. We could simply engage him, drag him over there, and then deal with him there. I think that's what we're going to have to do. So we still need to hit this guy one more time. God, we've got some good... do we have anything over here? No. So we're going to go 5 versus 4. Chaos Bag says +1. So this guy does die. And that will be Joe's turn. Now Joe can't move anywhere. Roland. How much doom do we want to add to this guy? +1 fight. So he's going to ramp up really quickly. I think what we need to do, if Roland moves up to Rivertown, we'll take an attack of opportunity. So he would take a horror, and then we could kill this guy, and then maybe Alejandro takes the fall for us. I don't know. Let's see. He does have logical reasoning in hand, and so he can heal himself. But he needs a clue to do it. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so we will move, and we will take an attack of opportunity, which Alejandro will deal with. He engages this guy. He only has 1 health, so that's fine for the machete. So we're at 4-5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says tablet, that's a -2. So we have to place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy, so that's fine. We'll place a doom on this guy, because he's going to die anyway. So he will die. We'll add the doom to him, and then he will die. That was our second action. And I think we just wait there, because we want to move... I think what we want to do is Joe comes and picks that guy up next turn, and then we deal with him over here at Miskatonic University. So I think what we do here... I think what we do is we just move... We just lose an action. We'll take a horror. during the enemy phase. When does Black Cave trigger? Black Cave triggers at the end of your turn. So Roland needs to take, or Joe needs to take another horror. We go to upkeep. We get a deduction. Okay. Joe gets a deduction, and Roland gets a prepared for the worst. It's a combat skill icon. Yeah, that's a good idea. If we can get the cop down, we can deal a damage to him as well. Lucas, that's a good plan. Yeah, beat cop is going to be our friend here, I think. I'd love to be able to play... maybe what we could do is if Joe takes the cop... Alagon once, welcome to the stream, Alagon 11-7. I just put the damage on him to remember that he has 5 health this turn, because of the effect of the Brotherhood is revealed. Once we get him over to the Miskatonic University, his health will drop. Okay, so we do have a plan, and I think we can pull it off fairly easily, barring any mishaps during the Mythos phase here. So Roland will draw a Nobody's Home. So we attach that to your location. If there are no clues on your location, it gains Surge. You must spend 1 additional action to investigate attached location. Okay, so that's no big deal. It does gain Surge, which is annoying, but... and we draw another Nobody's Home. So that's fine. Again, that surges. Third encounter card is a Words of Power. We put it into play in our threat area. If there are 1 or more enemies at your location with Doom on them, you cannot damage those enemies or discover clues at your location. We need to take 2 actions to discard Words of Power. That is really nasty right now. Okay, so that's going to limit Roland's ability to deal with this enemy. Because as soon as we put a Doom on this guy, we can't damage him. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. We are muddling our way through Threads of Fate here. We need to draw we just drew 3 encounter cards on that Mythos phase for Roland. Let's see what Joe gets. Joe gets a Night Gaunt. That makes things even more difficult. Okay, we really didn't need the Night Gaunt there. Oh, this game just got tough. We were in good shape, and now we are not in good shape. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with this Night Gaunt now. Yeah, we can't evade it. I mean, not with 2 agility. So what do we do? Kill the Night Gaunt. I don't know. Maybe Roland needs to resign here. That may be a possibility. We could take a double action to get rid of the Words of Power. That would give us another horror, which Alejandro could soak. That would give us 1 action remaining. Then we and take another. No, we can't move twice. Yeah, that Night Gaunt really threw a wrench into things. I am not sure how we deal with that. I guess we could... Do we have anything to evade? Yeah, we just have a 3 versus... Shoot. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. Yeah, we can use 2 actions to get rid of the words of power, but then we're going to take a horror. And we only have 3 horror we can take. Well. I think Joe has to go first. Draw from his hunch deck. We get a no stone unturned. That's not helpful. So we're going to have to kill the Night Gaunt. We're going to go 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says Skull. That's a 0. So it takes 2 damage. We do it again. We get a -3. That's bad news because that's 5 versus 3. So we miss. And we'll have to do it again. 5 versus 3. And we draw another minus. Back-to-back -3s. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Hi, Hydon. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. So Joe is going to take some damage and horror this turn, and that sucks. Now... If we get really lucky, we could evade the Brotherhood Cultist. Oh, but he's +1 evade too. Yeah, he's +1 evade, so he's a 3. The best we could do would be 3/3. Or what we could do... we could move to Miskatonic. Alejandro takes the hit. Then we use our field work and our calling in favors to evade the Brotherhood Cultist. Problem is that doesn't get us that words of power out of the way. Shoot. So we'd have 1 crack at evading this guy at 3 versus 3. Then we could words of power and get rid of it. Damn, that Night Gaunt really hosed us. All right. Well, I may need to resign here. I'm not liking... we don't have to resign quite yet, but I really don't want to take a mental trauma. So we will try to evade. We're going to go 3 versus 3. Not great odds, but that's the best we can muster at the moment. The skulls are zeros, so we do have a chance. So 3 versus 3. Big play here. Chaos Bag says there's our third -3 in a row. Chaos Bag has taken a very bad turn for the worse here. So we fail on our evade check. Shoot. We could deal... I don't think there's anything that deals horror. I'm going to get rid of the words of power. I'm going to take the hit on Alejandro. And then during the enemy phase, I take Roland takes a horror and Joe takes a horror and a damage. Go to upkeep. We get an ally. Roland gets Dr. William T. Mallison, and there's a vicious blow. Okay. That could be very helpful. We're still going to have to play this awfully slow, but if we draw any more enemies, I think we're in trouble. We will go to the Mythos Phase. So 5 of 6. Roland's card is going to be a mysterious chanting. Oh, that just... I think that seals our doom right there. Add 2 doom to the nearest cultist enemy. So we add 2 doom to the Brotherhood Cultist, and that makes him... he's a 4-3-4 now. Unless we can get him to a... Yeah, we just ended up with a bad string there. So I think we're just going to have to call it a game at this point. Dealing with this Brotherhood Cultist is just going to be too difficult, I think, for Roland and Joe. Joe's card is a Words of Power. Okay, well, this is bad. So the second Words of Power comes up and tags Joe, so he can't... Now, how do we do this? Can we still do it? What does Words of Power say? So if there are 1 or more enemies at your location with Doom on them, you cannot damage those enemies or discover clues. Okay, so that only affects that guy. It only affects the Brotherhood Cultist. So if we kill the Night Gaunt, we move up, we engage the Brotherhood Cultist away. Okay, that would put us... Then he takes the cultist away from Roland. Roland could then move over to Miskatonic University. Get down an ally. To help him with his horror issue, and then we could try to take him out next turn. Joe could move in. Maybe if we draw one of our shortcuts, he could move in, and then we could deal with the we could deal with him. Okay, well, We've got a semblance of a plan, but it all depends on whether we can kill this Night Gaunt this turn. So, we want to save the Vicious Blow for the Brotherhood Cultist. We also would like to save the Beat Cop to deal with the Brotherhood Cultist. So we're just going to have to go 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag gives us our 4th -3 in a row. Man. Sometimes I hate this game when the Chaos Bag just decides to throw -3s at you. Okay, so that hurts. Now we can't... I think that pretty much... well, we might be able to get out with Joe. Let's try again. He will go 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says Elder Thing. That's a -2, so we do finally kill that bloody thing. Yeah, 4, 5. Was it 4 or 5 -3s? Yeah, I mean that's you can't do anything about that. That's just bad luck. So he would be... we could kill him in one shot. This guy is killable if we can get... he's going to be 2, 4... He's going to be a 5. Yeah, hunch deck. Oh, he draws weakness. That sucks too. So that goes in our hand. Oh, no, it just stays out here. So that sucks. That just adds insult to injury because now we're going to earn 2 fewer experience points. This game suddenly turned on us, and there's not much I don't think there is much I can do here. We didn't draw our shortcuts for Joe, so we don't have a way of getting there, of getting back up there. So if we move up here, Roland needs to resign. Roland resigns. Joe takes over the guy. He gets hit for a damage. Okay, so we attack him once. He's going to be a 5. We're going to be 5, 6, 7. Or do we just take the horror and deal with it next turn? No, I think we need to move up because we need to be next to that location. Okay, so now Roland will resign. Ah, shoot. Yeah, that second Words of Power. Like, oh, just the worst. The encounter deck was pretty calm for the first little bit, and then we happened to draw all the Words of Power right when we had this stupid Brotherhood Cultist to deal with. I think we're only getting out with one here. So if Roland resigns, he takes over the Brotherhood Cultist. He'll take a horror. He could take a double action. to get rid of the power. So let me see here. So he's going to take a horror from an attack this turn. So he'd be at 4 of 6. 5 of 6 to get rid of the words. And then he wouldn't be able to... move. If we play an ally instead of moving... Let's step back here for a second. If we play an ally instead of moving and Roland resigns, this guy comes down and hits us for 2. Maybe that's the better play. Okay, so if he moves down, we take a damage. We take a horror. We'd have, and then that would be 1. Take 2 more. We'd have to take another one because of to get rid of words of power. Then we'd have to we need to move twice. So we might be able to do it. Okay, we're going to try it. I think if Joe stays where he is and we play... do we want the... Okay, so we're going to take 1. So we'll be at 4 of 6. We'll take 2. Okay, I'm going to play Dr. Mylan Christopher. I want the beat cop eventually, but we're going to go with Dr. Mylan Christopher for... We don't actually need the beat cop to kill this guy. We could commit him to a skill test, and he'd be just as good. Okay, so we take the... Dr. Mylan joins us. Okay, now Roland will resign, because Roland can't do shit anymore against this guy. The best he could do would be, if he attacks it, it just gets stronger, and we need to take it out in 1 hit. So Roland will resign. So this guy comes here. Okay, so then during the enemy phase, this guy will move down and we take a horror, which Mylan will take for us because he is a hunter. So we draw a machete for Roland, and we draw, both guys draw machetes. So that's another, could be important. That's another combat skill icon. So we shall see what happens here. It's going to all depend on whether this Mythos phase whiffs. We're only drawing 1 card, so actually we do advance too. So that could be... Actually, that might help us because it actually gets rid of the doom on this guy too. Shuffle the encounter disc. So we are on agenda 2B. The sun sets. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. That actually might just help us. The advance here. So we shuffle that in. If there are only 2 act decks in play, place 1 doom on 3A. Okay, that's easy enough to do. So we add a doom here. Okay, so we're only drawing 1 card this turn. So this guy has no more doom on him. So he's actually gotten easier to kill now. So our encounter card this turn, this could be big turn here. Well, they're all big turns when you get down to turn 12. We are going to draw another Words of Power. Well, that just... Can you hear the exasperation in my voice? Can we still do it? So, oh, and we needed to take another... We needed to discard 2 cards or take a horror from the cave. So we'll just discard 2 cards to that. Oh, man. We could still do it. No, he's 5. He's got 5 health. I need to get him out of there. I don't think this is going to work. I thought we had a chance here, and then all of a sudden the Words of Power showed up, and we're stuck. I can get rid of one of them and take an attack of opportunity. I can get rid of a second and move and put us at 5. Yeah, I need to get out of this location this turn. This has been brutal, the end here. Oh, and my weakness triggers as well, so that gets removed from the game. Oh, it just goes to our threat area. Okay. So we get a Preposterous Sketches. That's not going to be any help to us. I remove 1 and take a Okay, so I take 2 actions. I take an attack of opportunity, and Mylan goes away. I move up. I take another attack of opportunity. Then I take another attack during the... Yeah, I can't do it. I can't make it out. Man, oh man, that sucks. All right, well, we'll have to resign with Joe as well as our final action. We won't bother moving out of the cave. We'll simply resign. So that was a little disappointing. We had a very good chance at getting clearing 2 of the act decks, but unfortunately we simply ran into the encounter deck decided to trigger its combo on us right at the end there, and we drew nothing but Words of Power and enemies, which prevented us from being able to get rid of that Brotherhood Cultist. So that will be, we will get... I believe we had 2 victory points. We got 2 victory points, 1 from the Arkham Police Station, 1 from the Black Cave. I believe we also get 1 from... We also get 1 from the... What am I looking for here? 1 from the one we get... So Act 3B, we did not get the missing relic. So the relic is missing. We rescued Alejandro. So we get to keep Alejandro around, and we did not forge a bond with Taka. And so we get the Expedition Journal card, and each investigator earns Victory X +1. So Roland will get 3 experience points, and Joe will get 1 because his weakness triggered. So, and we will head into the Boundary Beyond. Not a particularly good playthrough there of Threads of Fate. That's the first time that I've played it two-handed. So obviously when you play two-handed, you're going to see more of the encounter deck, and we certainly saw quite a bit of it. Lots of enemies to deal with, which we managed to keep a tap on at the beginning, and then we simply ran into trouble toward the end, where we drew the Brotherhood Cultist, who was bad enough, and then we drew Words of Power, which basically locked us out from. And then we drew the Mysterious Chanting, which dumped to Doom on him, and then we drew the Words of Power, which prevented us from attacking him. So we got stuck, and Roland and Joe didn't have enough sanity to get us through to the end, unfortunately. So we will end up with 3 experience points. And Roland will end up with 3, and Joe will end up with 1. And we will go to the Boundary Beyond. So I will be bringing that game to you on Wednesday. We'll be streaming again Wednesday at the same time. What is going on here? Oh, brother. So thanks to everyone for joining in the stream today. I really appreciate you showing up to lend a hand and to enjoy this game. I forgot, like, the 4 or 5 -3s we drew there at the end. It didn't help either. So I will be back on Wednesday. If you missed part of the stream, you can always check out YouTube for the remainder of it. Remember that if you'd like to become a patron of the channel and support the work that I'm doing here, you can always head over to patreon.com and sign up for as little as $1 a month. And I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to hit the $100 level this month, so we can get to work on getting some art to refresh the channel, and creating a special manfromleng Investigator that we'll be giving out to anybody who wants one. Thanks very much, Kenyon. Glad everyone could make it. Hopefully next game we'll be able to resolve the streaming issues as well, which were somewhat unexpected. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next time here on The Whisper in Darkness. That's going to do it for this stream. If you enjoy what you hear, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to head over to Patreon and support the channel. You can also sign up on, head over to my Facebook page, The Whisper in Darkness, and you can sign up, and I provide updates there. If you need to contact me, I can be reached at manfromleng@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at manfromleng. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your eldest sign closer. Take care out there, and happy investigating.